Hello and welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. There's been a lot of things going on this past week with players requesting trades, ranking talks, lots of training camp updates. But first, I just want to see how are you doing, Lance? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we talked.
Andrew, it's good to get back together. I went and visited family. We got together
Mm-hmm.
for a reunion at Altus. Had to represent
Mm-hmm.
Altus today.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to Texas. It
Mm-hmm.
was awesome. It was a great time. Um, Wanted to try to connect while we were gone, but tell you what, man, the time just goes by so fast.
It
Um,
does.
but it was good. I saw a little bit of the Hall of Fame game. Um,
Okay. So some
I
Trey
just
Lance
I would
action.
I would love to do a wellness check on the Detroit Lions. How did Dan Campbell feel after that one?
Mm-hmm.
Because the part that's, by the way, was so funny to me about that game was the comments about the turnovers. I guess the turnovers were driving me nuts, but 34 points, like that's not the one that you're like, we let
Yeah.
them score 34 points and we scored seven. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's the preseason, but come on, guys. I mean, try to act like you actually want to win this game. Um,
And the thing I would say, yes, it's preseason. Yes, it's like second and third stringers, but some of those second and third stringers are going to make the team, and some of those second and third stringers are going to have to participate in some games.
yeah,
And if they're showing awful play, it's not good because depth is super important in this league, especially for the
yeah.
Lions, who everyone gets hurt.
Yeah, I mean it's fair. I mean they've already had their defensive tackle injury, so
Hmm.
they're not off to a strong start. Ragno center
Yep.
gone, so
Yep.
yeah, yeah. That was not the type of game that makes you feel good going into the season. Again, it's a month. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Right.
There's a reason why the preseason doesn't count in anything for standings. But Andrew,
Hmm.
before we move on, how are you doing? How's your
I
family?
am doing good. I'm doing good. We had a week with a bunch of kids in this house. We had a total of five males, me and four boys, and it was kind of chaotic, but it was fun. It was fun. We went and watched Fantastic Four, which I don't think you've seen it yet, have you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I won't spoil anything. I just like I mentioned to you in our thread, it was just a really good family movie. Like it's been a
Hmm.
while since there's been a good superhero like family style movie. Like I would be okay with pretty much most ages going to see it. There was like nothing bad in it. Um, Lots of just family dynamic and it makes parents really feel it. There's some moments that I wouldn't doubt if parents got emotional. That's what I'll say. It
Hmm.
was it was just a really good movie. I really enjoyed that one. I kind of liked it more than Superman, but I did enjoy Superman. But
Hmm.
this one just that family dynamic was powerful.
Well, that's good. We could use more better movies. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I've had a lot of friends. I've thought about it that have reached out about the superhero fatigue, and I don't know.
Hmm.
For me, I don't think it's really the fatigue about the superhero movies. It's the fatigue about the bad
The
movies.
quality. Yeah.
Just bad. I mean, just straight
Hmm.
up bad. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's been a minute. It's been a while. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, we'll see what happens. My hope is that DC and Marvel can start just producing better movies once
Yeah.
again. On a
I hope
different note,
so.
in the superhero movie universe, it sounds like Spider-Man's next movie comes out next July, right? No,
Next
two
July,
Julys
July
from now. It's
31st, I
two
think.
July. I think it's like July 31st, 2026. Or no, it's next year.
Yeah, it's 2026. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm still thinking we're
That's
living in
gonna be exciting.
2025, Andrew, or 2024. Not 2025 yet. Once we get to like October, I'll remember to start putting the five instead of the four down on official dates.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but yeah, no, it's good, man. It's good being with family and kids.
Yeah.
We actually so like we flew down there and our kids did incredible. Um,
Mm.
Great on every flight.
That's good.
So yeah, it
That's
was
good because
it was good.
flights are the scary part with, any kid under 5 years old. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do. This is gonna be interesting, but it's really good that your kiddos did really well.
Yeah. The only the only red flag for the trip, Andrew, was my son, man, toilet training. Um, we've
Mm.
done an amazing at home. It's been an awesome month. We go on the trip. It's like he forgot everything.
Oh
Um,
no.
and it's like, oh man, like how can we help you? So that's life,
Hmm.
you know. You got to keep
Yep.
moving, and there's setbacks, and he's a great kid. So if that's our issue, I should be grateful. But man, tell you what,
Hmm.
toilet training. Someone told me they have 3 kids. They're like, yeah, that's the reason we only have 3 kids. It's toilet training. And I was like, man,
That's
I feel
fair.
that. I
That's fair.
understand that pain. So yeah,
Yep. Well, all right. Shall we get to it? Shall we talk about some of
yeah,
these guys that said, "Hey, I
definitely.
don't want to be here no more"? Which one do you want to start on? Because there's three superstars that want out.
I mean, that's such a good question. I'm trying to think. Do you go with the person that you actually think is going to leave? Okay, so let's do it that way.
Okay.
We'll say at the same time on three, Andrew. Who do you think is going to be the person that's going to leave?
Out of those three, oh man. Okay, I have a thought in mind.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Terry McLaurin.
Micah Parsons. Oh, he was my number two. He was my number two, only because
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of trade value he has because he's a little older. I don't know who wants to pay draft capital and over 30 million a year. That's
I,
my only speculation on that.
my speculation is then the reverse side is that it's the one that the team I think would be the most okay with
That's fair.
letting go, like letting
Let him go
walk,
up. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. I hear
Whereas
that.
I feel like, and Trey Hendrickson, like I feel like you can't let him go because I just feel like that would ruin your team. It would really be
Hmm.
the Khalil Mack level of departure. I don't think I could put Micah Parsons quite in the same boat. I mean, I'm not saying he's not an amazing player. It's just Dallas has other pieces on defense to hopefully build around. I don't
Yeah.
think the Bengals have anything.
Not really.
Well, I mean, letting go Jesse Bates. I thought about it, but someone brought it up the other day, and I was like, man, that's such a good point. Letting go Jesse Bates to go to Atlanta. I mean, both
Hmm.
sides have to be unhappy about that move. I got to think. Bates might have gotten paid, but it's from a team that's been lost, like going
Average.
nowhere.
Hmm.
Just wasted millions of dollars on 2 quarterbacks, so they could have just settled on one. Flawed
Hmm.
process. So, but yeah, that's where I come from with McLaurin. Is I feel like, and also I think the market for him will pick up pretty quick. I think if it's really determined he's not coming back, um, I do think someone's going to reach out and offer. Trying to think what it would be. Maybe you get a second round pick out of McLaurin.
I was kind of thinking in that range because that's the same range as DK Metcalf. He's younger, but he's also Metcalf is a little bit on the, little speculatory. He has bad attitude. We'll just say that. He's been known for that. And Terry McLaurin has always been about business, about football, and there's been no attitude issues there. So I would say that's a fair comparison, is the same value that DK got, which was a second round pick.
Well, and George Pickens just got traded, for a
That
third and
too.
a fifth. So
Hmm.
I just don't think the market seems cooled off in trades for wide receivers. It doesn't seem to be the place to
Yeah.
really get your bang for your buck. Now, I disagreed with you on the Micah Parsons front, but then I quickly repented after I looked at the trade for Khalil Mack and when the trade was for Khalil Mack. And I
Hmm.
think that a Parsons trade that would be pretty pricey for whoever tries to reach out and get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, and the reason
So,
why I picked Micah Parsons as the likeliest to get traded, I don't think all three of them are going to get traded. I think all of them are going to stay on their team or just pull Le'Veon Bell and sit out the season if they're that bold. Um, but I don't see any of them going. But the reason I picked Micah Parsons is just because of the organization he's on, the Cowboys. They do not know how to do business. They are very bad with signing contracts. And can they afford Micah Parsons with paying Dak as much as he is, paying CD as much as he is, and still trying to build a team? Because Parsons is going to get what, 42 million a year, something like that, in that range. That's I mean, same just like as Garrett got. I don't know if it's gonna be higher or lower. That's, depending on the team, but it's gonna be right in that ballpark. And can they really afford that? Because that's insane. They're paying 60 plus $1 million to one player, and then CD got what, like almost 40, I think. No,
I
no,
think
no.
he
He
was
got
like
like
33, 34.
33. Yeah, 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 something like that. Yeah, it was like right
Still a
under
lot.
the Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. But yeah, still a lot. And then Micah
Mhm.
Parsons going to get 41. You're looking at $135 million for three players. That's a lot of cash. I don't know if they can afford that. That's the main reason why I picked them, and their organization is just never been the best. We'll just say that. But still, I don't think anyone's going to trade for any three of these guys because it's going to be super expensive. We already touched on the Khalil Mack trade being a good comp. They sent two firsts for Khalil Mack, and then they had to re-sign him. So you're thinking sending two firsts for Michael Parsons and then paying him 42 million a year. That's a lot. That's a lot for any team to want to do. And is there realistically a team that would do that? I don't know. It's hard to speculate on that. With with Terry McLaurin, like you touched on, the wide receiver market's kind of cooled off a little bit, and he's just older. I think he's going to turn 31 this year, or he's going to turn 30 this year. One of those two. Um,
Uh,
and that age cliff is very concerning for any
Very real.
team. Uh, for running back especially, but wide receiver is a second one because it just once you lose that step,
30 this year
30 this year. Okay.
in
Okay. But
September.
once you lose that quickness and that speed, that's a big deal for receivers. I know Terry McLaurin is a great route runner. He'll be able to get over it, kind of like a Keenan Allen kind of a player, eventually. But man, that's going to be steep. And he's asking for like 30 mil a year. It's a little high for a 30-year-old, but I get it. He's performed. He's had like 1,000 yard seasons with terrible quarterback play in his career, and they finally have a good one. And I get it. And the reason why I think he is probably going to get re-signed probably the quickest than the other three is just because that organization seems like they know what they're doing now. They've made the right decisions. They have a good coach in there. They have a good culture in there now. So I think that's going to happen eventually. And then to wrap it all up with Trey Hendrickson, he's also in a horrible organization situation, but there are signs and little steam that something might be getting worked on because he reported to camp. He was gone. He was saying, I'm not going to go. He was just all this talk like the deal that they offered was bad and I'm not going to report. And then he recently reported to camp. He's not practicing, but he's there. That's a step in the right direction at least. So I feel like his deal is getting worked on in a way, but it's still not done yet. Um, I just come back to it's just crazy because the old Miles Garrett situation. At the beginning of the year, he requested a trade because he wanted to play for contender, and then like a week later, he signed a deal for over 40 million a year.
Dog pound proud, baby.
Uh, it was just so funny, and I kind of see that happening with all these situations. I know Micah Parsons. He put that long, long story of how he's been disrespected and how they were like bagging on because of his injuries and how he went to a meeting about leadership and it turned into a contract negotiation that he didn't feel like was right because his agent wasn't there. All that stuff he put in that long note, but all that can get resolved with 42 million a year. So I don't anticipate any three of them getting traded, but if one were, I would go with Micah Parsons because the Cowboys organization just is normally a dumpster fire.
It really is in disarray.
Hmm.
I think honestly, the most to me, the most damning, like the most problematic of the whole story by Micah Parsons in that thread was him saying that his agent's never been spoken to.
Hmm.
That to me is a really big
Yeah.
problem. Um, like, but I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've been watching some of the highlights as far as of discussing things during training camp by Jerry Jones, and typically Stephen Jones is on the stage, which by the way, that's really weird. Typically the owner has conferences by himself. The fact that Stephen's next to him makes me think there's concern because like there were times
Hmm.
like a couple weeks ago that Stephen like took over the question because Jones just totally went off the rails, talking about something with injury concerns, and that's why we
Yeah.
should have waited, and took a shot
Anytime
not
Jerry's
only
in front
at,
of the mic, that's bad.
well, it's just like you got to know when you got to call it quits. You got to know when you're no longer capable of being coherent on decision making, and
Hmm.
but that's the hard part. When you have power and you have control, having the humility to say, you know what, I got to step out. I'm not the best capable person for working through these things, and but
The
that's
key
just
thing
not
you
the way it
said was
works.
humility.
I know, I know. So
I think it was
I
like, what, 5 or 7 years ago, somewhere in that range, where Jerry was revealing his draft strategy before the draft.
yeah,
I
lifting
was
up
like,
the
are
sheet.
you dumb? Come
Well,
on.
Steven's just sitting next to him like Jerry. Like he
Uh-huh.
probably thought Jerry. He didn't even think Dad. He probably thought Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, man. I don't know. It's listen. I texted one of my friends after that recent one, Brick House. One of my
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
I said, "Oh man, where is that at?" I don't know if I have it up top. May his days be long, but it may his mental health also never recover.
It's just
Oh
so
man,
fun. So
I,
entertaining.
I just what a train wreck. By the way, that city of Dallas, what a train wreck of just front office management right now,
Hmm.
between the Mavericks and the Cowboys. So,
For real. For
um,
real.
but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I feel like though that Micah Parsons wrote his in a way where he was almost wanting to turn the tables rather than really walk away. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
He
Because
did
he
use a
could
lot
have
of past
just,
tense though.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, with money, right? The money factor and the Miles
That's
Garrett
all it takes.
example,
Hmm. That's all
um,
it takes.
which to me is crazy. If you feel like you're in a bad organization, don't stay there. Don't stay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and if you were wise enough with your money, you could afford the financial hits. Um,
Hmm.
most of them aren't. Most of them haven't made the proper financial investments to really like cushion themselves because they want to live the cushy life.
Hmm.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. I also have had a hard time because we've talked about this. Like where can we see them go, right? So when I
Yeah.
think about Micah Parsons, that one gets tricky because it requires someone willing to spend, a Khalil Mack level of the
Hmm.
trade, which was I think two firsts, a second, a third, fifth. Is that what that was?
It was two firsts and I think like a late round swap, but they also got a second back from the
From the
Chargers, I
Bears.
guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so the Bears got Mac and a second, sent back two firsts and like a fifth. It was like some pick swaps toward the end, but yeah, it was that they sent two firsts, they got a second back. So I guess the value would be a first and a third straight up then.
yes, they did. Yeah, two firsts. That's not showing what one went back.
I think I saw that the other day on like a picture version of their trade chart. They got a
Yeah, a
second back and it
second and
showed
a
the player they
and
got.
the
I think they
condition of
got
the
I think they used that second for Cole Kmet, which so yeah, pretty good drafting.
yeah, yeah. Um, I guess I'm just interested because I feel like it's really tough to build a team around um an edge. I think you can do it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see a concept like where does this work? Where does
Hmm. It needs to be like a final piece kind of a thing. Like you have to have your established quarterback. Your coach has been established, your offense, your defense is good, but it's missing like a superstar. And it was brought up on some show, I forgot what it was, but it kind of made sense like a Buffalo. If Buffalo got Micah Parsons, that puts them over the top. I think probably higher than the Chiefs if they got a Michael Parsons caliber player. Because they went and they signed Bosa, but Bosa hasn't really been Bosa. He's been fine. But if they included Bosa in a trade, like included Bosa in a first, then maybe like a third for a Michael Parsons, then pay him if they can afford it, then that makes some sense. It's a team in that range where they're established, they're a contender, but they're just missing something to kind of get over the top. And a player like that can get you over the top. You can't, like you said, you don't really build your team around that player, but that player can get you past the threshold of being a true Super Bowl contender. So somewhere along the Buffalo lines is what makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list of teams here. I feel like Green Bay is the one that would make the most sense to me.
That does make a lot of sense, and I really hate that thought. But it does make a lot of
I mean,
sense.
you're looking at the options. I don't think
And that's the same
Chicago.
for Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin make a lot of sense in Green Bay because they have a bunch of wide
I
receiver twos.
see, because like I feel like in reverse, I think that Buffalo makes the most sense for Terry, and I think at the
That makes,
price it
yeah,
makes
I hear
a
that.
lot of sense.
Hmm.
The salary is going to be the biggest question, but I mean, I'm
Right.
struggling with the other options, for teams for both players. I don't think the Dolphins make sense for either player. I don't think the Patriots make sense for either player.
The Patriots can afford it.
Maybe I just, why would you have Diggs and McLaurin? That feels like a bad model.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like a good move. Don't think the Jets, maybe the Jets actually, just because of the fact they only have Wilson, but they just paid Wilson.
Hmm.
So they're going to be excited to pay someone
Hmm.
else.
Yeah.
Bengals for sure no. Browns
There's one
no.
there's one team that I think you might like this thought. What about the Raiders for McLaurin?
That does make a lot of sense. Um,
Because that's what they're missing. Jacob Myers is good, but he's not a one. And if you can keep
no,
him and
yeah.
still get a McLaurin, if that happened, I'd be on board with your Raiders hype train. Right now, I'm still just a little skeptical just because they don't have a wide receiver one, and that's very important. But if they got a McLaurin, I might think, ooh, is this a playoff team? I'd have to really think about it.
I think the Broncos also make a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that.
Um, I mean, but did the Broncos just sign Cortland Sutton too to their
They
team?
did. They did.
They
They
re-signed
did
him.
like I don't know what the deal was, like a 4-year deal or something. Yeah, they just recently
Which
re-signed him, and they re-signed Zach Allen to a good deal. So, I mean, the Broncos organization is doing what they got to do. They're re-signing their guys.
it's all about getting ahead, man. I mean, we preached it
Hmm.
for a
Yep.
while now, but it just you got to get ahead. It won't get cheaper.
Hmm.
If you believe you found your guy, lock in and
Pay
sign him.
him. Just pay
Don't
him.
wait. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, the Raiders, man, for McLaurin, that is a great destination. That
What
would
do you
work
think
out.
the value would be? Would it be like we're saying like a second just straight up, or would it be like a second and a late round pick swap? What are you thinking? Because I think the Raiders would be willing to pay
Oh,
that.
it depends on. So it depends on, do we see four teams jumping in like the Packers, the Bills, the Raiders, and the
Yeah,
Broncos?
in a
If you
little
got four
bid.
teams going at it, that
Hmm.
could be a very competitive market. I could see that turning into a. I don't think it gets to a first, but let's say the ceiling would be a second and first. I think that could be the ceiling.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, but that would have to you'd have to
And
get
if I'm the
teams to
Raiders,
compete.
I call them now and offer that.
I mean, I think they should explore it. I think it's a great offer,
Hmm.
a great setup. I just the part I like about the Raiders is that this is the first time I feel like the Raiders have in half a decade really had a forward thinking front
Yeah.
office to coaching mindset.
Hmm.
Um, only tag or the only potential hangup that they have in my mind is Chip Kelly. What does Chip Kelly do?
Hmm.
Um, as far as Chip Kelly's mind with play calling, I like Chip Kelly. I think he does a good job. I don't think that was ever his biggest issue. I think his biggest issue was he couldn't relate to the players.
Hmm.
He could not work with them. Now, the difference is he is under Pete Carroll, and it is the Pete Carroll show. And if he wants to
Right.
stay, he's going to have to do what Pete Carroll wants him to. And there's one other important factor. He didn't just leave college because of the fact he was looking for a pay raise. He left college because he was tired of recruiting.
Mm. Mm.
So he's not like this flashy toy that came out and you have to kind of respect his wishes. It's like, hey, you're here because I like you and I think I believe in you. But as soon as this experiment stops working, you're gone. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that puts things in a different boat. Whereas, when he was in Philadelphia and San Francisco as the head coach, he was the guy. He got all the final says in a lot of the
Hmm.
situations. And I just don't think that was good for him. I think that Chip Kelly's ego has to be kept in check. So we'll see how that pans out. But at least for year one, um, I think that there's a lot of potential. So,
I agree.
another team I just thought about was the Chargers, like for McLaurin.
For McLaurin, yeah, I could see
I
that.
mean, because
I could see that.
bring back Mike Williams. Mike Williams retires. Now they're thinking about bringing back Keenan Allen. Like, all right, guys,
Hmm.
the past is not the answer. The future is the
Right.
answer.
Hmm.
Um,
Keenan Allen as a
there's a
three, I
reason.
could see that, but as a two, no, I don't see him as a two anymore. He's past that time frame.
Well, if you watched him in Chicago, it was your answer. He just.
Yep.
I know that players hate when I say when podcasters talk about this, but it's true. If you're not proving value in fantasy football, you're probably not a great NFL player. It's just the truth.
Especially at certain positions. Yeah, like wide receiver and running back. If you're not getting fantasy points as a player, then I could see that. Yeah.
Quarterback, I mean, I think that's a very similar thing. But yeah, we'll see. Man, that's five teams. Five teams I think that would legitimately make a ton of sense.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else I'd add to that list. Tampa's for sure out because they're so stacked at wide receiver. Rams make no
Yeah.
sense. Cardinals could make some sense for McLaurin. Um, would they
Yeah.
want to? But the Marvin Harrison Jr. experiment has not panned out yet. So we'll see if
It's been it's been only 1 year. So if it doesn't happen again this year, then I think that's a bust. But everyone develops a little differently, and there was no chemistry between quarterback and receiver. I think that
Mhm.
was the biggest problem. And honestly, if he wasn't a top 10 pick, his first year was fine. He didn't have a horrible first year. He had some stats. It wasn't bad, but as a top 10 pick, it was bad. But if it was just a late round, first round pick, it was fine. He
I
had
guess
some
the
games.
part I'm just trying to think about is Harrison going to be a number one? And that's the
Yeah.
part where I feel like I left not sure. Because I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
885 yards, that is good. 8 touchdowns, not bad. It's just, can he be the guy? Can he really be the guy
Hmm.
moving forward? Because I'd say right now in Arizona, um, uh, McBride, right? Chip McBride, is that his
Trey
name?
McBride, he just got re-signed. Yeah. And
I,
he's
I think
phenomenal.
he is the number one target right now. I would say he's
Yep.
the number
I
one
agree.
go to. He's probably the closest to Travis Kelsey in the NFC. I would say right now, um,
Hmm.
as far as the way he's keeps going from last year.
Hmm.
So, I mean, we'll see about that. Laporta, I think, could be a solid case for doing better. Hawkinson, same thing. Goddard, if he actually got through 18 years, 16 games or 18 games. But so yeah, there's some options. I just feel like that McLaurin's market I feel like is really wide, and I just have a hard time thinking of a team for McLaurin or for Parsons that who is going to pay that? Like, so here's for example, I know that Hendrickson and the Bengals are working towards something, but I have seen in the past where that doesn't happen. That doesn't work out. The
Right.
player stays at camp because they don't want to pay the price. So, like when I think about Hendrickson's market, that to me seems more. I feel like that's more of a Buffalo trade. You're not giving up the farm to go get him
Right. Because he's a little older, so you don't have to give up two first round picks, and he's probably not going to be making 42 million. That makes sense. That makes sense.
like
Yeah.
that. I could see that happening. Um, if Hendrickson becomes available, the team I'm watching is Philly. I
Hmm.
think that would make a lot of sense. I think ultimately that Micah could never come to Philly if he was going to get traded from Dallas. That one, I don't
Yeah,
think
there's
Carrington
always an
was.
in division tax too, so you guys have to pay
Yeah.
Dallas a little bit more than everybody else.
Well, just like, what if they're wrong? The Saquon Barkley just absolutely embarrassed the Giants. Do the Cowboys really
Yeah,
want to be next on that list?
that's a good point.
I just don't see it. I don't think that works out. I could see Tampa Bay jumping into maybe either one, but does Tampa Bay feel like they're close
Yeah,
enough? I don't know. I San Francisco just traded for uh oh my goodness, I'm spacing on his name right now. Bryce
Huff.
uh Huff. And that I don't think that makes sense. I think Seattle's way too much of a wild card. Um I think
Hmm.
behind closed, if you were having a conversation with Seattle, I don't think they would feel very confident about this year. I think that they
I
feel
kind of
very
agree. Yeah.
like if you were off the record, right, off the record, talking about it, how do you
Hmm.
feel? What do you expect? I don't see it. Like they got to be probably, if barring injury issues with San Francisco, they got to be the fourth place team for me in the NFC West.
Only reason why I would disagree, I hear what you're saying. The only reason I'll disagree is their schedule is like the easiest schedule in the whole league this year. It is a cakewalk. I mean, it's going to be hard for them not to win 9 or 10 games with the schedule they have. And I know NFL teams are all great and anyone can win any given Sunday, but that schedule is just like, wow.
I mean
It's,
that start to the schedule is not great. You got the 49ers, you got the Steelers, and then the Saints. I think that one you could feel comfortable about. Cardinals, Buccaneers. I mean that's a pretty stuff like 5 game stretch. Houston won't be a cakewalk. Commanders won't be a cakewalk. Rams, we'll say the same thing. Titans, yes. Vikings, no. Falcons, who knows? Colts, yes. Rams, like I don't feel cakewalk.
I don't think the 49ers play the Vikings this year.
They do. Yeah, they do on November 30th.
Hmm, don't recall that. I know we play the Seahawks, but I don't think we played anybody else in the NFC West.
Yeah, it says November 30th, 2025. Let's go to the Viking
Huh.
schedule. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's there. November 30th. Just check the Vikings version too, just to check. So
Okay.
I don't I don't get the sense that's a cakewalk. I don't think it's a terrible schedule, but I don't think,
Hmm.
and here's the other part too. This is the other part that's important. The edge game from these teams is very strong. Like I think that they could come up with competent teams
Hmm.
um, to get to to the passer, Sam Darnold, and what's Sam going to do under pressure? I mean, 49ers,
He's awful
Steelers.
under pressure
I think Josh Sweat is going to be a great fit in
with the
Arizona.
Cardinals. Yep. Hmm.
I mean, and it's not just the fact that I think the Cardinals have some hope, but Gannon knows how to coach up his edges and he knows how to get to the quarterback. That part of his coaching, I don't question. I think the Buccaneers will be better against on the edge this year. The Texans for sure will be a pretty competitive team on the edge. Commanders, I think, are getting better. I just,
Are
I
you looking at
don't,
Seattle's schedule?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
So I guess that's the thing. I'm just, what's Sam Darnold going to do? I just think that's the biggest question.
Hmm.
Who is Sam Darnold going to be? And
Yep. He doesn't have just Jefferson. He doesn't have Kevin O'Connell. His offensive line
well,
is
and
average.
that offensive line is just is so bad. It's so
Hmm.
bad. Every time I talk about it with my coworker, it's just like, how bad are the Seahawks going to be with that line? And
Hmm.
so maybe, maybe one of the slots will get open.
One of their four slot receivers. Yeah.
Maybe they're gonna be like the NBA team that has three threes on the court, and you're like, I don't know how this model works, but I guess they're gonna give it a shot. So
Yep.
um,
I feel bad for
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. I really do. I'm glad he got his money. But I don't think and I think that contract again is a for sure first year, partial second year guaranteed. So the Seahawks could say bye-bye to him next year. They very well could, and eat just a little bit of dead cap. And that might be the plan because they wouldn't drafted Milrow this year. So he is their future, not Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm really interested with Milrow. I mean, that to me,
Hmm.
my question is about Sam Darnold at this point is he gonna be Carson Wentz year one and just good
Hmm.
enough to make you think, man, maybe we just need to be patient. So then you wait another year and
Hmm.
that's when it really starts to fall off. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see how it all pans out. So, um, yeah, I think that we've kind of worked out what we could on those options for trades, and
Yeah.
we'll see, man. I
Yeah.
expect I expect Micah Parsons back in Dallas, though. I think that he'll be back.
Yeah. I think all three players are just going to be back because it's going to be too expensive, really. And then the Commanders have a good organization now, so I think they're going to do what they can. So I think all three guys are going to most likely be back. But
Yeah,
it'd
I'm
be
sure you're
fun.
right.
It's fun to talk about and fun to see who wants to trade for him. I
Well, I
mean,
mean,
no one thought Luka was going to be traded.
well, no one knew that Luca was even on the market.
That's true.
That's a whole nother.
And I think it's funny now
Yeah.
because now he's getting in shape and he just re-signed a deal with the Lakers. Now he looks like he's serious. He wasn't super serious in Dallas, but he looks like he's serious now. Good for him.
Well, I mean, it takes two sides. They both
That's
have
true.
to be committed, and
Hmm.
the Dallas Mavericks wanted to basically say, "Hey, it's him," and I think Luca really is more of the opinion that it wasn't me. There's other factors at play, and
Yeah.
so we'll see. Yeah, and we'll see what happens with these teams as far as with trade markets, but it's never good when you have situations like this. In fact, I'm trying to
Hmm.
think, has there ever been a time where a team has had these types of issues and they go on to win the Super Bowl that year?
I
Maybe
don't
maybe
think
Chris
so.
Jones with the Chiefs because he sat out that week
Okay.
one game
That's
against the
fair.
Lions.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
I would say even Chris Jones, like I struggle with it, man. I don't know how important is Chris Jones to that team. I don't know. There's some days I'm like, he's so important. What would they do without him? But then there's other
Hmm.
days that the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes machine is just so powerful that it's
Hmm.
like maybe they'd be just fine without him. And so I don't know. I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys have that luxury. I don't think that the Bengals have that luxury. Um,
For sure.
so
The Commanders can survive, but I made the point, I think, on a episode a couple weeks ago, but if the McLaurin thing doesn't happen soon and he starts to not get chemistry back with Jaden Daniels, starts missing practices, maybe even miss a game or two, it's very similar to the 49ers and the Bengals the past couple of years. And that did not work out well for the team. And
no,
I am afraid of that for the Commanders. And if this continues and it seeks into the regular season, I'm not picking the Commanders to make the playoffs. And that might be a hot take, but I think it's that big of a deal because I don't think Debo's a one. He's a good two,
no,
but he's not a
yeah.
one anymore. And the run game is fine, but it's not great. Brian Robinson Jr. is fine. Austin Eckler's fine, but not great. And if Jaden Daniels doesn't have legit weapons to throw to, what's he going to do? He's going to run around and he's going to get hurt. So
I will say
I do have
I
concerns.
I do like Noah Brown.
Yeah, yeah, he's solid in his role, but without McLaurin there, he's now a two, and I don't know if he can be a two.
Well, I guess I mean the short spurt, right? I could see Noah Brown being reliable if it extends into the regular season.
Hmm.
I think the difference was with the Bengals, they didn't have that. I mean, it really is just
Hmm.
uh, Chase and Gee at the top. I mean, that's their options. I think the Commanders are a little different. I would also say Zach Ertz is better than Gesicki.
He is solid, but he's old. He's
I
too
mean, he might
old.
be, but dude, that first year was. I don't think Zach Ertz is
It
getting
was good.
enough. love
No,
for how
he was really good
incredible.
last year.
I mean, 654 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaged
Hmm.
9.5, 9.9 yards per catch. Like very, very reliable. And the 9.9, the key figure in that is almost first down equivalent every time.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think you're going
I
to
hear
get
you.
that. The difference between him and Travis Kelsey is that the Chiefs still think they can use Travis Kelsey like he was, 5 years ago type Travis Kelsey. That is, I think, a mistake. We'll see if they learn from that this year. That's not what the
Hmm.
Commanders are asking him to do. He is the option one, option two are down, option three, Zach. Like that is how it's worked so well for them. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens for that team. But I do agree with your take on the fact that the Commanders are just they're well set up. They're a good organization. But Dan Quinn,
Hmm.
man, we've agreed on it. He got the short end of the stick in Atlanta. It was unfair.
Yeah.
By the way, here's a hot take. Can Kyle get more flack for how he does things in San Francisco and how he did in Atlanta? Because I feel like the guy somehow always gets away with just all of these different things. Like,
He always is everyone's like third or fourth best head coach, and I don't
yeah,
quite understand it. I know he's gotten to Super Bowls, like multiple as a coordinator or as a head coach. So he gets there, but he can never finish the job. That's a big deal.
well, I mean, the classic one to me is that Patriots game in Atlanta.
Yep.
There's no reason. I mean, if you want to go back and forth on the Chiefs games, that's fine. I could see it.
Hmm.
The first time around with Jimmy Garoppolo, like that was tough. You just did not have a quarterback that was he was a Trent Dilfer for the 49ers.
Hmm.
Good enough to get you there, good enough to keep the team afloat. But if the pressure started to cook, he faltered. Um, I just yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he always gets so much love. And Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan's a fine coach. I'm fine with that. But tying it back to Dan Quinn, I just felt like that Kyle left on good terms of like, man, he was a great coordinator for us. So grateful for him. Like, let me compare it to this way. When Jonathan Gannon left the Eagles, Eagles fans were livid with Jonathan Gannon because they felt like he was one distracted and two just called the worst game of his life against the Chiefs.
Mm.
And I think any Eagles fan would tell you it wasn't the players that cost us that game. It was the coach. And I would agree with that because why did Vic Fangio look so much better than Jonathan Gannon when he took over? Because Fangio was focused on the job. But just tying that back to Schwartz or not Schwartz to Shanahan, um, I just think he was not as focused as he should have been as the game went on against the Patriots, and he didn't get enough
Hmm.
flack for it. Made a horrible call in overtime against the Chiefs. I mean, it just continues
Hmm.
on and on, and
Yeah.
so I think that Dan deserves so much credit. He's built a good team. He's a great coach. He attracted talent from the Dallas Cowboys too, which I don't think was ironic or like a
Hmm.
coincidence. I think everyone saw. And you see what's going on with the Cowboys right now. It's continuing, and
Hmm.
um, yeah. But I'll get off my soapbox, Andrew. I'm done. I hate seeing people get extra love than they deserve and people getting slighted more than they deserve. Both
I agree.
spectrums drive me insane. Absolutely.
I agree. I agree. Well, do we want to move on to some training camp thoughts for our
Yeah,
teams? Because there's
definitely.
been a lot of fun stuff happening. I want to start with you. What do you got out of Eagles camp so far?
I mean, I think it's been more of the same. Um, I I like what the Eagles are doing. Jahad Campbell continues to look good. Like it looks like that he's gonna be a starter for the team, fill in that role, do a good job. Um, it really is surprising that he's playing as much as he is because when we took him, that wasn't the discussion. Like it wasn't that hey he's going to come in and start. It was
Yeah.
almost like I felt like ESPN and NFL Network were like putting a huge asterisk on the move of like oh we'll see if he can even really be available in year one. And here we are in training camp and
Yeah.
he's
Hmm.
doing great. Um, the players that I would like to highlight is Mac McWilliams. He's a cornerback from
Okay.
UCF.
Cornerback.
Looks like he's going to be the potential slot corner backup to uh, Cooper DeJean, which I think is great for them. I think that he's got a lot of value to show. The talent was never the question for him. It was more like the level of play he was working against because the UCF Big 12. I get it, not as talented as the SEC or the Big 10. Smile Mondon from Georgia has looked good. Hasn't looked out of
Mm-hmm.
place. So I think it's a really strong start to camp. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith continue to look good. The Dallas Goddard hype train is back, Andrew. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the year that Dallas Goddard gets over 1,000 yards," and I'm just like, "It's not happening, guys. It's not happening." Maybe he gets,
Yeah,
like a
it's
thousand.
tough for him specifically
Mhm.
because of the talent on the team. If he was like the number two option, I could definitely see it, but is he like the fourth option? So
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know
think
if the
that's
fourth
fair.
option can get 1,000 yards. I mean,
Well,
he can definitely contribute some valuable plays, but 1,000 yards, I don't know if I see quite that high.
I mean, I'm with you. I think at this point I could see a 750 yards. I think it's totally possible to get
That's
that.
fine.
But it's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah, for sure. That's very solid. That's very valuable, contributing big time for your team.
The hard part for Goddard is, 592 yards 2 years ago and 496 yards last year. Like that's just
Hmm.
it's not quite where it should be. That should be higher. Because 3 years ago is 702, 4 years ago is 830. That's really where we should have been, and we haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just worried we're never going to get it. I'm worried that it's never going to come. Um, but the playoff Goddard last year was phenomenal. Um,
Hmm.
he did he did amazing. It was really cool to see how well he did against the Packers. Um, he had 85 yards against the Commanders. He had good moments. So yeah, we'll see what happens for Goddard. But I think right now, optimistic. Feel optimistic. But
Yeah.
here's a hot take as far as from Philly standpoint, Andrew. But I kind of feel like that Philly fans are kind of just. It'd be nice if we were good, but we've had a really good stretch. We won a Super Bowl.
Mm.
Like I get the sense that Philly fans are pretty content right now with how things have been going.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get one, you're like, I can relax now. And the next year doesn't matter as much. Like being a Thunder fan, for example, we finally got a title. And this coming up year, I'm like, well, it's kind of whatever happens, happens. I'm good either way. I love back to back. But if we get bounced out in the second round of playoffs, all right, that's fine. We got a title. We're good. So I kind of get that from Philly fans.
Yeah, I mean, things could change. They could get more opinionated as the
Hmm.
season goes on, but um, yeah, I kind of feel like that this is going to be it's going to be a competent year. It's going to be tough. Like the schedule is really tough for them, so I think the
Yeah.
ceiling is cautious at best. They've got a tough schedule. I mean, the 2023 experiment was not great, so I think that some people think there's
Hmm.
potential that comes back because it's a long, tough schedule. So, what about
Yeah.
over in Minnesota? What are you hearing on your end?
So there's a few things. First, I'm gonna get over some couple little injury things happening. So Jefferson kind of, I don't want to say tweaked his hamstring, but his hamstring felt a little tight. So they just shut him down. He hasn't practiced all training camp. We're leaning toward him coming back maybe a week or two, but probably more toward preseason practices, not necessarily training camp. So he's been kind of hype man, coaching the team up on the sidelines. He's there all the time, just not practicing. So nothing to concern with, but that chemistry with him and JJ isn't developing like you could hope it would, but that will be fine. So his health, we're watching, but it's nothing serious. He's just we're being extra, extra, extra cautious. And the key thing is it's the other hamstring, not the one that he injured a couple years ago. So it's not a re-injury of the one that he missed 6 games with. It's just he felt a little tightness. They said, "All right, let's just shut you down." And the other injury that just happened with was Hawkinson kind of had a groin issue where he left practice halfway through practice on Saturday, I believe it was. I think it was Saturday. And he came back and did some side work. So he didn't get shut down. Just something to watch because he had to leave like 11 on 11 drills because of the groin issue. He had made like a diving catch and he kind of hobbled off the field a little bit, got some treatment, came back, did some side field work. So I haven't heard anything that it's anything he's going to miss practices with, but we're just watching that because those are two very key contributors. But the fun stuff has been the defense has been flying around. Brian Flores has them like in mid-season form, and it's just wild that he is throwing all these like advanced, complicated blitz schemes toward the offense in training camp. This is something you see in a game, and he's throwing at JJ McCarthy every single practice. And McCarthy has struggled against it because it's something he's never seen before. And probably something he's not going to see because Brian Flores is crazy in a good way. But what's been really cool is to see how McCarthy has I don't say overcame that, but learned from it because he had like 2 straight practices where he kind of struggled. It's not like he threw picks left and right. It's just he would get pressure in his face almost immediately, get sacked, or have to escape the pocket and throw the ball away, kind of a thing, because the pressure was in his face like within 2, 3 seconds because the crazy blitz schemes and our offensive linemen haven't been fully healthy. We've missed our left tackle and our right guard. They've been off-season injury they're recovering from, so they haven't been in the whole time. But seeing him develop past that, and in Saturday's practice, he torched the defense. He had his best practice after like a Wednesday, Thursday practice where he struggled a little bit because the defense was in his face. He had a great padded practice on Saturday. But the coolest thing, which this is something that is an intangible that you can't teach. You can teach form, you can teach stance, you can teach how you're stepping through a throw, you can teach how to see the field, those kinds of things. But this is something that you just can't teach. So we had a couple skirmishes on practice field on Saturday. First, and it both included Aaron Jones, which poor Aaron Jones, he's like 32, 33 years old, and he's getting tackled at practice. But the first was our like 4 string linebacker trying to make a team went and actually tackled Aaron Jones on a little like out route. And he got up. Aaron Jones was fine, but the offense did not appreciate that. So our right guard we just signed, Will Fries, went and confronted this linebacker, and the linebacker punched him. And a little scuffle happened, and that was the end of it. But the very next play, not that player, but an edge rusher trying to make the team tackled Aaron Jones again. And it wasn't like we just took it to the ground. They actually tackled him. And then who steps in this edge rusher's face? JJ McCarthy. His red jersey on. He gets in that guy's face and just probably cusses him out and yells at him that this is not what we do. You don't really see quarterbacks doing that often. You'll see other linemen, you'll see the big guys, you'll see maybe other running backs, maybe you'll see receivers because I like to talk. You don't see the quarterback confronting an edge rusher on the practice field. You just don't see that much. And that just shows J.J. McCarthy's intangibles, his leadership, and he has control of this team. I just love that. I don't love fighting, and Kevin O'Connell hates fighting at practice, but seeing that J.J. McCarthy confronted him, got in his face, I thought, wow, he has the back of his team. It's not vice versa, which it is. Team has his back, but he also has their back. I thought that was just awesome to see.
Well, I mean, you got to have it both ways. And the one I always remember, as far as from the regular season, was that time I can't remember who it was against, but Dak Prescott just got absolutely rocked, and no one was there. No
Mm-hmm.
one. They literally
Yep.
just let him get up and go back to the huddle. Like that's a sign of a bad team. That's a sign of a
Yep.
team where there's no. Because I'm just thinking all those times where Jalen Hurts will get rocked by someone, Jordan Mailata or Lane Johnson. Someone from the line is there to get in that other
Mm-hmm.
guy's face to let them know. Um, or like that moment with Trevor Lawrence last year, and
Oh
his
yeah.
tight
The
his
Texans,
tight
I
end.
think.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what you want. You want that. You want
Hmm.
someone to step in. Um,
Yep.
like comparing that contrast, I just remember a couple of years ago the Eagles played the 49ers and they let them bully them almost the whole game, and there wasn't someone that came in and was like, "That's it, right? Like that's enough."
Hmm.
Um, So you need that. You need that accountability. I mean, on both sides, right? You need to feel like your quarterback's
Hmm.
willing to take some heat, and
Hmm.
especially after the play, it's a very appropriate time if you want to be aggressive
Hmm.
as a quarterback to like step in and tell people that something needs to change. So um, you know how I feel, Andrew. I'm not questioning JJ McCarthy's capability to step up.
Hmm.
I think the Vikings are in a super great position right now. I don't think that
Yeah.
many people have them on the radar. I don't think
Yep.
I'd say right now, there's more pressure on the Packers to be a competent, competitive team than there is on the
I
Vikings.
agree because everyone and their mom is saying the Packers are a Super Bowl contender, and I just don't see it. They're a good team. They're a playoff team, but just like last year, they couldn't beat the good teams. They lost to every playoff team they played. What changed from last year to this year? They added Matthew Golden, and that's it. How is he going to get them over the top? I just don't see it. They're a good team, but I don't see them being a legitimate contender unless something changes drastically.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jordan Love needs to step up and to really play better.
Hmm.
I mean, the one thing we never found out was how much that injury hurt him from the injury in Brazil. How
That
much was he
that's
the
fair.
same quarterback?
Yeah.
Because that
Hmm.
was a significant injury. I mean, I remember watching it thinking, "Oh my gosh, he might be done for the year." Like I felt
Hmm.
guilty, thinking that maybe we just ruined the Packers' chances, and but Jordan
Hmm.
came back, and so yeah, I don't know. I think that the Vikings are. I feel like the Vikings are in a very similar spot to the Raiders. Not the same boats, but I just mean in the sense that I don't think that the first or second team in their divisions that people are like, hey, you really got
Right.
to figure it out. I think for the AFC West, it's and the Raiders are probably the fourth team. It's the Broncos and
Yeah.
Chargers. That's the two teams, which still confounds me. I don't see what people see in the Chargers, man. I
I
don't see it.
agree.
I
I
don't see
agree.
it.
It's the full head coach thing. They think that Harbaugh is going to get them ready and over the top. And last year they were a good team. Their defense was really good. They ran the ball well. But Ladd McConkey as their only legit receiving weapon is a concern. And look what happened in the playoffs. They got destroyed by a Texans team that wasn't really playing that well. They were okay, but it's not like they were a legit contender, and they got destroyed by it. It wasn't even close.
Well, I think it just goes to show that coaching can only take you so far, and there's other good coaches in the league. Because to me,
Hmm.
I feel like D'Amico Ryan's did a great job of telling his players, "Look, everyone
Yep.
thinks you're the laughing stock right now. They think that you had no right to be in the playoffs. Let's show
Hmm.
them who we are." And I mean, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, against them and the Chiefs, very competent, very competitive. Um, by the way, depends on how things go in Houston, but that's a team I'd watch out for with Kansas City. I feel like they're coming up, and D'Amico's figuring out a way to strategize how to take down the Chiefs. Um,
It's got a great defense, and you just got to get to Patrick Mahomes, and they have one of the best edge rushing duos in the league. So, yeah, I could see it.
yeah,
I think they need another weapon. Nico's awesome, but by himself, I know they picked up Christian Kirk, but we'll see what that does. And Tank Dell's going to miss the year most likely because that crazy bad
mhm.
injury last year. But yeah, I see it. They need another weapon, and they need to fix the O-line, and then they would be a legit Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I really like that running back room: Mixon, Chubb, Pierce. I mean,
Mixon
they've
is
got a
hurt
lot.
though.
I know, and that's we'll see. We'll see how much it's training camp is so tough because I mean, the Bills are
Fair.
working through injury concerns because you got Shakir,
Hmm.
we got Cook and dealing with a bad back.
Oh, his back is so
Related,
hurt right now.
no other issues at all. Um, so I mean, the one I'm concerned about for the Bills though is Maxwell. Um,
Harrison.
he needs
Hmm.
to play. He needs to play the most, I think, out of all those
Yes.
players.
He needs
being new to the
reps. Yeah.
scheme.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes for the Texans. I do really like that receiving core though, and John Mechie the third. That's a guy that's someone you should watch out for fantasy value. With Tank
It's
Dell out,
possible.
I definitely like John Mechie
Hmm.
as a that is not an aggressive early go get it. Here's the part for Houston I think that they need to watch out for their line. I have no idea what to expect
It's
from this
bad.
line.
They traded the
Uh,
best player and then they picked up two not great O linemen from the Vikings. So yeah, I don't like that line.
yeah, I don't know. Dalton Schultz is a good tight end.
Hmm.
I think he's definitely dependable. So yeah, we'll see, man. I definitely like it as far as what's going on in Minnesota, and we'll see how those injuries pan out. It's tough to know at this point.
Yeah.
I just yeah, one other person I was going to mention to Andrew that I totally forgot, and then I went back and refreshed my notes. AJ Dillon is a guy that's getting a lot of love in camp right now from
Oh,
Philly.
really? Okay.
Um, so that'll be interesting because if AJ Dillon is as good as he was in Green Bay, and that's a big if because it depends on his injuries and can he
Hmm.
stay healthy. But if he is, man, having two incredible big backs, um,
And it'd be very huge to spell Saquon's son because he had a ton of touches last year. Like, not necessarily concerning amount, but close because playoff run, he was very, very highly used. So they could very much use to limit those touches some this year. And if Dylan can do that, that's great.
well, I'm just thinking, if you get a hamstring issue that's nagging and you
Hmm.
could play but don't need to. I think that that's far better if you have a reliable person. Will Shipley is their other running back. He played a little last year
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
Clemson, but I think he's good too. So watching those, and yeah, man, we're so close to football being back. Cannot wait. So close.
Yes. Yes. The joint practices are happening soon. That'll be a lot of fun. We just got to get to about 2 weeks from now, then we can taste it. We can kind of smell it right now, but in 2 weeks we'll be able to taste it. That's when it's really like, okay, let's go. We want to shut everybody down. Don't let any injuries happen. Let's just get to week one.
I'm so excited, Andrew. I cannot wait for the Eagles to play the Cowboys. Um, if that game can go the way I hope it will, um, man, I would be thrilled. It would just
Yep.
be, I, in fact, we talked about the Eagles fans feeling good. If we beat Dallas, we might be the highest we've ever felt in a very long time. Because,
Hmm.
Super Bowl success matters, but I'm sure as far as for your rivals, it's beating your rivals that brings the
For
most
sure.
longing joy. Being able to
For
throw that
sure.
over one on your friends, to
Hmm.
just gloat about it and there's nothing like it. It just brings such joy.
Yep. It sure does. It
Yeah.
sure does. You'll get that week one. We'll get ours. Ours is probably the Packers. The Lions are rival, but we don't have any bad blood with the Lions. It's the Packers. When we play the Packers, that's when we like to rub that in their faces.
Yeah. Yep. It's I'll tell you what, man, the Green Bay Packers game for the Eagles, that has been extra marked on the schedule. Um,
Yup. I
pushing it
want
all the way down to
every
the end
play.
zone.
Every play. Come on. Come on, Eagles. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It would be funny if it worked out that way though. So
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, man, but we're so close. Can't wait for it.
We are.
Best time of the year.
Yep. It is. It is. And we're going to go through a lot of rankings and fantasy stuff we're going to touch on because that's coming up soon. Um, yeah, it's almost here. It's so fun. Fantasy season's right around the corner. I'm already preparing for all my drafts, so lots of good stuff.
Yep. One final note, Andrew, I did want to just say is that thoughts and prayers with those that were affected by the shooting that happened in New York.
Oh yeah.
Super unfortunate event. Really,
Hmm.
really sad. But yeah, thoughts and prayers to everyone that was directly affected or those that weren't affected, but knew that they were in the line of fire.
Hmm.
Super unfortunate situation. I feel terrible for them and their families, and grateful it didn't end up becoming an even worse issue. But
Yeah,
sorry
I
for those
agree.
families because
Very well
for
said.
them,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. Terrible situation. And um, glad that it didn't escalate worse than it was.
yeah, absolutely. So um, just unfortunate things like that happen. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Well, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
that's it for me, man. This was good. Excited and yeah, just looking forward to it. It'll be fun. We're getting closer to the season and can't
Yes.
wait. We still have to figure out, Andrew, what we're going to bet on. Like, what's our bet for when we actually do picks and see who's going to be the winner out of the two of us?
Yes. Yes. We'll have to see that. We'll have to see that. Maybe we do something um like a trade in that deep league we have. Like a fantasy trade. Like,
Oh,
hey, if I get more
I like it.
wins next season, you trade me your first round pick or something like that. We'll figure
Yeah,
something out.
yeah. No, that'll be good, man. I like it.
All
Okay.
right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode of the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff so we can grow this channel and continue to just have a lot of fun.
Thanks, everybody.